Hi guys, so I'm back again, and today I have it's supposed to be, kind of funny, and Arabs will understand it, Egyptians, Palestinians, Moroccans, all types of Arabs. I just want to let you guys know, sorry for, I've been out for a little bit, just started school again, just gone through the first week, and I'm already like swamped and like already like just out of it. Anyway, so okay, so I have like 70 something listed here, and I'm going to, go through them. Let's see if I can get this, done under 15 minutes or so. So yeah, okay. Number one says, when inshallah or Rabbana Sahel usually means no. So like a lot of your parents, when you ask them for something, oh, you want to go out or you want to do this, they usually say inshallah or Rabbana Sahel, and usually that's kind of like the nice way of saying no, you can't go. But if you can, God will let you. We'll see how that goes. Number two, your parents tell you روحي ذاكري when you've finished exams already. It's like constant studying all the time, 24/7. Number three, when your parents remind you that ربنا شايفك, because that they see that you're doing something wrong. So when they see you doing something wrong, they won't come up to you and tell you, oh, what you're doing is wrong or whatever. They're just reminding you, God sees you. And ربنا شايفك means God sees you in Arabic. روحي ذاكري means go study in Arabic. Inshallah, by God's will, ربنا سهل, God will let that happen. Number four, okay. So, in Arab countries, they usually have taxis, microbuses, and stuff like that for a form of transportation. So, you know that you're definitely Arab when you have stepped foot in a taxi or a microbus and ended up praying on your life that, praying on your life till you miraculously, come up to your destination, arrived at your destination, and you come out and you're like, oh my gosh, thank God I got it. Because, Arab people, they drive crazy. And I'll tell you that from experience. I've gone to Egypt in 2009. Those people drive like there's no tomorrow. Okay. Number five, no matter how fantastic your Arabic is, when you're bargaining in a store, you are bound to get asked, انتي صوتك مش من هنا, which means your voice isn't from here. And it's like, dang, my hard work is all over. Because like when you're shopping over there, and if you're Arabic, like they can know if you're like from somewhere else. If they find out like you're from somewhere else, like America or whatever, they're gonna charge you more than you would if they know that you're Arabic. They'll bargain with you and they'll be like, all right, I'll give it to you for this much or whatever. Okay, number six, like when you say you're not hungry, but your mom still scoops food into your plate and says "عشان خاطري," which means like, please, for my sake, eat it. Like they're always feeding you. I have my uncle in Egypt, and we visited him a while ago, and we had dinner there, and they just keep feeding you, and I'm like full already, just like full blown full. Like I'm done. I'm ready to, I'm ready to just go for dessert or sit down. Number seven is when Giddo, which is usually your grandpa or grandpa, comes and picks you up from school in the Galabaya. They don't come in regular clothes, they come in Galabaya. So everyone knows that, you're Arab, you're full blown Arab, we know who you are now. Like, only Arabs do that. Okay, number eight, when your parents have some stage and some stage asked you and they ask you whether a word is in P ila or B khafifa. So P ila means P like pig, and B khafifa means like boy, B as in boy. So, you've gone through some stage in your life with your parents where they ask you, oh, so is this word with P this or P that? And I'm like, oh gosh. So, yeah. Number nine, your mom also says that rappers like Lil Wayne and Bow Wow, and she says شكلهم عاوزين لطش على وشهم, which means needs a slap on their face. because it's like, dude, what is this? Like, you call this singing? You call this like rapping or whatever? Like, they don't see that as modest or nice or even Arabish or whatever. Number 10. The first thing your parents ask you about your friends is what do they study or do for a living, and what do their parents do. Always ask that. They always want to know, oh, what's your friend studying? What do their parents do? It's like, I don't know, an investigation to find out, what your friends and parents do. You have you have unbelievably frizzy, curly, dark brown to black hair for the girls, and bushy eyebrows and the longest eyelash, and for boys, bushy eyebrows and the longest eyelashes any girl will kill to have. That's definitely Arab. Um, when you live less than 15 minutes away from your mosque, especially when you move to be closer to your mosque, to a to true. Okay, sorry, it just totally messed up right there. Okay, when you live 15 minutes away from a mosque, especially when you moved to become closer to your mosque, that's definitely, Muslim Arab right there. And even back home in Egypt, I live like right next to a mosque, like less than a minute away. When you're visiting a friend's house and your welcoming is always enlightened with kubayche, which means, a cup of tea. That's how it is for all Arabs. Number 14. When you're not allowed to touch the other gender, you can't touch them. Like, you do that and it's like you're scarred for life in front of everyone else, in front of every Arab that you know and stuff. So, like, whenever everyone's like, stay away from me, can't touch you, and all that kind of stuff. 15. When you celebrate this is for Egyptians. When you celebrate the fact Algeria has been thrown out of the World Cup by USA in the 21st minute at 2 a.m. as if it was Egypt that won the cup. Because Algeria, I believe, beat Egypt. So when Algeria gets beat by USA, that's like Egypt just like, it's an Egyptian thing. Okay, 16. When your parents say there's no way you can get into medicine or dentistry if you don't do 4 maths and 3 sciences. So annoying. And they say, هتخشي طب ازاي? How are you going to get into medicine like that? Number 17. Your kids put on an Egyptian accent on English words when talking to their grandpa or grandma so that they can understand them. And I definitely do that. Number 18, your parents ask you after Friday mosque prayer, الخطبة كان على ايه النهاردة, which means what was the khutbah about today, to make sure that you're listening in the masjid. 19, your parents won't let you sleep over your friend's house if they have siblings of the opposite sex, mostly applicable to girls who have friends with older brothers. Number 20, your parents have to put an E in front of every S in a word. That's definitely like, it's stupid, it's Steven, it's sticky tape, it's sticky shift. Number 21, when your father or uncles wear their pants halfway between their ribs. 22, you go clothes shopping the week before Eid and run into half the people in masjid. I have done that. Like, when I go Eid shopping, like, I try to go early, like way before, to find something good, but always end up going, last minute, and go there and I see so many Arabs, like, and I was like, oh, I know you're from they're going shopping too. It's like, oh gosh, okay, so I'm not the only one shopping, last minute. Number 23, when your non-Egyptian or Egyptian friends tell you how you put an accent when you speak to your parents in English. And I do that. I've had my friend Amanda and Miriam tell me that, and they always make fun of me when I do that. They'll even purposely tell me to call my mom and talk to them just so they can get a laugh at it. After Eid, you're eating fatta, lahma, halawa, and all you want to do is sleep because your parents make you go back to school and your parents go to work and they don't decide to close the store. That's so true. Very true, though. Okay, let's see. You guys can't see me, can you? Okay, now you can. We'll see it. Okay. Number 24. No, I said that. Number 25. When parents don't take their crying, whining children out of the masjid and just continuously to say, hush, shh, shh, and that's all they do to them, and they disturb the whole masjid. And I've seen that so many times. And you know what I do see that like really like annoys me, and it's like, you know, I feel so bad about it, is like at my masjid, so we'll like, you know, we pray together obviously, and you know, everyone is praying, and then like you see those one people that will get out of salah just to say, oh, be quiet or whatever, or they get out of salah and they're checking their phone during salah. Like, really, how do you do that? Like, I don't, like, you can't do that. It's honestly like I see them, I was like, do you know the rules of salah? Like, you're supposed to be dedicating your time to Allah, but like you're not even doing that. Like, you get out of salah to do whatever, or you turn your head like this to see what's happening, or oh, my phone rang, I gotta check it and see what it is. Like, why would you do that? Okay, number 26. Men and women sit on opposite sides of the masjid. That's, you know you're Muslim and you know you're Arab. That's not really a funny one though. Okay, 27. You know you're definitely Muslim when half of your Facebook posts are Quranic verses or mostly in Arabic. When your parents ask you to be home by 8 and the party starts at 9 p.m. I've had that done, you know. It's just like a protective thing, you know. Oh, they want you home, you know, before dark, or, you know, 9 o'clock. Like, they don't see the whole going out late at night kind of thing. 29. You know you're Muslim or Arab when you've turned 18 and you still have no freedom. 30. Your parents tell you a story about this person that is the second cousin of your grandfather who has moved to XX and had 2 sons and a daughter who married XYZ, who then is related to this person who turns out to be related to your other side of family, and or someone of your relatives is marrying. They always do that all the time when somebody gets married. Oh, he's from this side, blah, 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 this side. He married this dude, and now they're married, and now they have kids. When you're Arab, you'll know that, because, like, marrying's, like, a big thing, or something like that. 31. To make it even more confusing, they call your cousin Ibn or Bint Ammak, or Khalik or Khaltik, which means daughter or son of your uncle on your mother's or father's side, instead of just saying cousin, or finding a word for cousin. 32. When you don't want to say yes, you just say inshallah. It's a good, like, you should say that word like all the time, because you never know what's gonna happen, and you can never do anything without Allah's help and Allah being there by your side. So some people, like, it's a good way to get out of things though, saying inshallah, because then it's like not yes, but it's not a no. So yeah, and I use that word all the time. Okay, 33. You have a collection of pharaonic souvenirs, including papyrus artwork hanging in every room, or the pyramids and statue of obelisk from Luxor or Aswan in your house. I have vases. I have a Nefertiti statue. I have a whole bunch of papyrus paper, and I even have these two right here. Right there, I have these two. One says Allah, the other one says Muhammad Rasulullah. And then I also have, you know, papyrus paper with Quranic, right there, it's a Quranic verse, I think. And then right next to it, you can't really tell, but it's like a picture of, you know, back in Egypt and stuff like that. Like I said, you know, pharaonic souvenirs on houses and stuff. 34. You have a formal salon that you're only allowed to step in when guests come over. I'm sitting in one right now. Shh, don't tell my parents. My mom is like, we can't, like, there's always this one room in the house that always has to stay nice, stay clean, and you can't step in it. Like, Fusitube, dining room or something, you can't step in it unless you have guests over and stuff. And I guess it's just because you keep sitting on it, the couches are gonna end up being, you know, how do you say, end up gonna be saggy or dense in it or something like that. Okay, I know I'm moving on. I'm on my laptop, by the way. So that's why. Let's see. 35. When your parents have guests or whatever, they go all OCD on you and have a cleaning rage. You're definitely Arab when that happens. You start a fight with your religion teacher at school if they say something that's against your belief. 37. When your parents introduce you to someone, when your parents introduce you to anyone, someone, and they have to go through your whole family tree just to explain that one person. Like, for example, to show how you're related to that person. So they'll say, بنت خالتك مرات ود عمي يبقى ود عم بنت خال مامتي. They'll go through the whole thing just to explain that one person. It's like, you could just say he's my cousin. That's it. Or my whatever. Um, oh my gosh, why is it doing that? Okay, 38. Your parents have a tape recorded of the Quran or khutbah playing in the car on full blast instead of listening to the radio. You're definitely Muslim and Arab when you do that. 39. People in Egypt stand in front of retailer in circles instead of rows. That's very true. I will go and there's like a circle of people just standing there trying to do, one thing at a time. It's like, you can't do that. File line, please. 40. Your parents have Quran on their MP3s or iPods, as well as Fayruz, Kulthum, and Abdul Halim Hafiz. Definitely Arab. 41. You've broken the fast as a child because of a birthday party food temptation, and you say to yourself, "Rabbana haysamahni," which means God's gonna forgive me. And that's, I will admit, I've done that before in middle school, and did the whole fasting thing, and I broke my fast. And I was like, God's gonna forgive me. This is my first time. I'm working there. It's very hard. 42. Half of the non-Egyptians you see or meet say they've never met an Egyptian in their whole life and wow about it. All the time, even at my workplace. I work at Disney and I run into so many people and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you're like the first Egyptian I've ever met." I was like, "Oh, okay, so I'm special." Yeah, here in Florida, there's not a lot of Egyptians. A lot of Moroccans, quite a few Palestinians. I will say in the Kissimmee area, further Dr. Phillips, you'll find a whole bunch of Arab there, but I think they're mostly Moroccans and Palestinians, not so many Egyptians. Most of the Egyptians you'll find New Jersey, New York, up north, and all that. So I said 41, and I said 42. Your parents think that Halloween is for shayateen, and devil worshippers, which is the same thing. And they are scared of emos or goths. That's so true. My grandma's like terrified. I know people, Arab people, and their moms that they'll look at them like crazy. Like I don't, go against people. Like they are who they are, and you can't do anything about it. But you're definitely Arab when your parents get scared of those kind of things. 44. When an adult says something will take 1 minute, and they really mean 2 hours. That's so true. My cousin does that to me all the time. Like, we'll be talking and she'll be like, "Oh, hold on, I'll be right back in a second." And it's like 2 hours later. It's like, where are you? Your mom thinks that the fast rapping parts in the songs are always rude and say, "Il kharada, il ilit adab." Like, they always say that. Or your dad says, "You can't even understand this," and starts mimicking it by mumbling it. All the time. All the time I've seen this happen. And it definitely runs in the Arab genes. 46. The awkward moment when a bad scene on a movie shows up and there's this silence and staring going around. Definitely true. I think Yasmin Fufu had a video of that with her mom when they went to go see Duchess, I think. And my other friend, they'll be watching Titanic or some other thing, and you're watching a movie, and awkwardly, like, your parents are just sitting there, and like, there's a bad scene, and just like quiet and just look at you. This is what you're watching? This is what you like to watch? And then after the movie, they just start having like a lecture or something. 47. When you curse and your parents either yell at you or your mom looks at you and laughs because she doesn't know what, I'm not gonna curse on here, but you know what I mean. And she asks what it means, and you're like, oh, you just find like a nice word to say for it. When you're in Egypt and any Arab country for that matter, and your mom tells you not to speak at all so you don't ruin the bargain, and that actually goes with one of the ones I showed you guys above. 49, you talk for an hour at the front door when leaving someone's house, and then the parents decide to sit down again and have more coffee, even if it's 11 p.m. or even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Like in Egypt, that in Arab countries, that's how it is. Like shops stay open till like who knows when. You've gone through a phase of being too cool for Sunday Islamic school. 51, after a family meal, the women fight to death over who's gonna clean the dishes while the men sit and discuss politics waiting for their coffee. 52, your parents think that stupid, dumb, and shut up are swear words because they'll tell you can't say that. That's a bad word. When dining out, you always fight over who will pay for dinner. When making an international call, your parents speak 5 times louder than usual, thanks to being Egyptian YouTube video for inspiration. You know you're Muslim when your house is decorated with framed Quranic verses and the 90 names of Allah, and you have more than 5 Qurans in your house. And I showed you guys a couple frames that I have. 56, you follow your parents' house rules even if you're 18. 57, you can never understand why your parents eat rotten fish, which is fasikh. You wonder if they have any taste at all. This day also involves using nose plugs and staying far away as possible from anyone who's touched it. 58, your friends from masjid, your friends from masjid, I can't speak today. Your friends from masjid or Arab friend know not to say anything inappropriate in front of your parents. Your school friends don't care. So if you're, Muslim or you're Arab, you'll understand and you don't. But anybody regular, like American, your regular school friends, they won't even care. And sometimes you'll even have to tell them, look, don't curse in front of my parents. I'll explain it to you later. 59, you're forced to stand there awkwardly after a marriage service while all these Egyptian parents come and say to you, out balik, to you and your siblings. Out balik means, with God's will, you're going to get married to, next up. Something like that. 60, same applies for when someone has a new baby. It's even more awkward when they have a baby. It's like you're 19 or, 17 or something, and one of your family friends have a baby, and then, they come up to you, or, you come to a sabua, which is like, a baby shower, and they'll tell you out, but it's like, I'm only 17. So that's definitely awkward. You're Egyptian when you love kushari and masa'a, and you eat fool and falafel for breakfast or anything in that matter. So definitely when you love masa'a, you eat kushari, and for breakfast you always have fool and falafel and all that good stuff. Your parents put a 62. Your parents put a B in front of all the P words. Example, Pepsi. Instead of Pepsi, they say Bipsy or pizza. That goes back again to them asking, so is it pi khafifa or pi thaqila? Which means, I've explained that. Your parents always ask you to spell something. That's definitely Arab. You're Arab when meat is like everything. For example, go on YouTube and listen to the Lahma song. أنا بحب اللحمة كتير. Although I'm not gonna sing the whole thing for you guys here. 65. When you're going on a picnic or a beach, your parents pack the whole refrigerator because they either don't like to eat out or don't spend money. And that's Evan. Like any trip, we bring our own food and we'll fill like 2 coolers and bring bags of chips, and it's like we're going away for a couple of days or something like that. 67, you're Arab when you drive like a maniac like a maniac. good video to see that is YouTube account Arab Funnies. They have Arabs Driving School Part 1. That is hilarious. 68, when Arabs only talk with accents like Z, this, what is this, what is this, Z. When in Arab countries and teaching English is when in Arab countries and teaching English, 90% of that class is in Arabic. And I've attended an English class with one of my cousins before, and it was an English class, and they're all talking Arabic, and I was like, how are you supposed to learn English when you're talking in Arabic 99% of the time? And like, I'm just looking at the test, looking. I mean, I've never gone to school in Egypt or anything like that. And they assume like I'm cheating. Like, I'm just looking at it. Like, I'm not cheating or anything like that. I'm not helping them. Like, they know that I've lived in America, so like they start, asking me questions. Oh, how do you say this? How do you say that? Is this right or whatever? I was like, why are you an English teacher if you don't even know how to teach English? And 90% of the time you're just talking in Arabic. 70, when you're talking and someone says, why are you yelling? And you're like, I'm not. This is the way I talk. And that's happened before. Like, with Arabs, that's just how it is. Like, when you talk in Arabic, it sounds like you're yelling, but it's not. It's just the way it is. And people will look at you like, why are you yelling on the phone? Like, it's a phone. Don't do that. You love hummus. And eating is definitely a hobby of yours is 72. So I just went through all of that, and it's like 26 minutes. I probably bored you guys because I know a lot of them weren't funny, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I gone through all of it actually. Let me know what other kind of videos you guys want me to share with you guys and all that stuff. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't want to keep this video longer than 26 because I know it's going to take forever to upload. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
When I'm gone, like the northern light, I'll shine down on you. I will keep my magic sparkle brighter and higher for you.